Hello, everyone. I think this should maybe the final episode of my whole God series, But have you ever wondered what the mark of the beast is? And many people, everything but the mark of the beast. Since I talked about Satan, let me talk about the mark of the beast. Do you know what Earth is? Earth is like a limbo stage between heaven and earth. I mean, heaven and hell. Hell is the world of the beast, and earth is the middle. Earth is in between heaven, where happiness, joy, and all the positive feelings in life exist. And hell is where all the negative feelings in life exist. If you get marked as a beast, look at the world around you. Look at the world of beasts. Look at the world of animals. Another word for beast is animal, right? Another word for beast is animal. Look at the animals around you. Look at the animal kingdom. Do these animals look happy to you? What do you think happens to these animals? They get ruthlessly murdered on a daily basis. They get torn to shreds. Not the slightest feeling of happiness, not the slightest feeling of remorse goes to the minds of these animals. When the lion hunts down a human being, no matter how much that human being cries for help, yells, please, no, please save me, please, not the slightest bit of compassion exists in the mind of that lion. The lion will not have the slightest bit of sympathy, empathy, or remorse for destroying that human being. That is the world of beasts. The world of beasts is violent, cruel, painful, and extremely vile. If you get marked as a beast, it means you're succumbing to your bestial desires. You're succumbing to hatred. You're succumbing to violence. You're behaving like the animals around you. You no longer see yourself as a human being. You no longer see yourself as different from everybody else. You see yourself as nothing but a mere animal. That's what you see yourself, and that's the trap of scientists. That's the trap of science, of the whole science world today, is that they like to think that this world is all there is, and there's nothing beyond this world. You're worthless garbage. You're a worthless piece of crap existing in one small planet in a massive Milky Way. And this massive Milky Way is just one tiny dot in this whole massive universe. And this whole massive universe is just one tiny worthless dot in this whole massive multiverse. And this whole massive multiverse is just one tiny worthless dot in a conglomerate of multiverses. This is what, the science is trying to tell you. These guys haven't even traveled past Mars. We haven't gotten to Mars yet, but they already tell you they know everything that there is to know about life. We're not even capable of living on Mars. We're not even capable of living on the moon that is right next door to us. We haven't been able to colonize the moon yet. We have no way. We haven't figured out a way to colonize the moon yet. We haven't figured out a way to live in space. We haven't traveled beyond physically traveled beyond our galaxy. Yet here we are, here scientists are telling you exactly what happens, who you are, and where you belong in this world, that you're worthless garbage. Of course, with that mindset, of course, you'll be more animalistic in behavior. You will no longer care about being a kind person, because if I'm this worthless, why should I be kind? If I'm such a worthless person, why be kind? Why be good to others? Why cherish kindness? Why cherish love? Why cherish compassion? Why be kind to others? Why not ignore the feeling of empathy that I have within me when I see an animal dying? Why not ignore the feeling of empathy within me that I feel when I see someone starving to death on the street right before me, right before my very eyes? When I still see a child getting killed by someone else, why not ignore that feeling that tells me, to save them? Help that person. Help that little child. That child is an innocent child. He has done nothing wrong in this world. So why must he be butchered alive for no reason? Why must an innocent child be butchered alive? The scientists tell you, for their mindset is this world is, you're just one tiny speck. So what's the point? Why help people? Why be good to others? Why be a human being when you can be an animal? Why be a kind person when you can be a ruthless, cruel animal? And that's the viewpoint of scientists. The viewpoint of scientists is that the world is worthless. Humans have no value in this world. And that's the trap of science as a whole. Not all scientists have that mindset. But there's a lot of scientists who hasn't really seen the world yet, but have already jumped to conclusion that they've experienced everything there is to experience about the world. They've gone everywhere else in the world. They know everything about the world, and they know exactly what your purpose in this world is. Do you really believe someone who's barely gone, we've barely gone to Mars, we barely know Mars, in total? Can you really be believe people who barely understand the human body as a whole, who barely understand the human mind, who barely understand consciousness, who barely understand anything about this world? We barely have a firm grasp. We don't have a firm grasp on basic things, like the human body. Yet here they are telling you exactly who you are and what your worth is. Don't you think there's something wrong with that? Where scientists actually tell you what your worth is without ever having to understand. They don't have a full understanding of the world as a whole yet, but yet they're already jumping to conclusion that you're worthless, that you have no value in this world. If all the animals around you behave like animals, they're cruel and violent, you should behave like an animal too and be a cruel and violent human being. Don't you think there's something wrong with that? With the prevailing science, you know, having that mindset that human beings should be cruel and violent as a whole because other animals are cruel and violent. Don't you think there's something wrong with that? That they're telling you to behave like animals, they're telling you to behave like beasts. If you behave like a beast, you'll be marked as a beast. If you get marked as a beast, when you die, you go to the world of beasts. You go to hell. So if you don't want to go to the world of beasts where there's no kindness whatsoever, where you get butchered alive and no one's there to help you. In a group of your family members, someone will come and butcher you alive, and not a single family member will help you because you're just a worthless animal. That is the world of beasts. If you want to experience the world of beasts, behave like the scientists tell you. Behave like the animals that you see on the television that murder their own children without the slightest remorse, without the slightest care in the world. They have no empathy for their own children. If you want to behave like an animal, if you want to behave like these beasts, you'll be marked as a beast. If you get marked as a beast and go to a world where all these cruel creatures exist, where all these demonic creatures exist that have the slightest bit of empathy, sympathy, or kindness towards anyone or anything, be my guest. But if you want to go to a world with kindness, where you have value, kind people all automatically see the inherent value in everyone else. Cruel people would never see a single value in you whatsoever. And it seems science as a whole is geared towards cruelty instead of kindness. They see their own flesh and blood, their own human beings, their own family members as garbage, as worthless. Do you see your family members as worthless? All the things that you see when you look at your loved ones, is the word worthless the thing that comes to your mind? So why do scientists keep telling you that you're worthless in this world? Why do they tell you that you have no value? Just because the world is big does not have any meaning to whether you have value or not. Your value is inherent within you. Your value has no relations to the world as a whole. So why does the scientists keep telling you that your value somehow has to be, related to the world? What if this world was created for you to explore? That's exactly what this world is created for you as humans to explore. If you explore this world, and you come to the conclusion that you're worthless, that's you. Other people will explore this world and find out the equal and opposite. Kind people will explore this world, will discover these things in this world and realize that they have more value than they think they do. They can change things in this world. They can turn matter into cars. They can build skyscrapers. They can build machines. They can build bombs. They can build so many things. Human beings have the power to change the world. We have the power to destroy the world. This is the power that God gave us. We have that power. Do not think of yourself as worthless. The human race has has a lot of value that scientists keep looking down on. All the scientists, all the things that we've created, this is created by humans alone. We have this power within ourselves. We have the power of compassion. We have the power of kindness. It is kindness and compassion that brought us together to create cars. It is kindness and compassion that brought us together to create roads, to help other people, to create cars, to help other people, to create houses, to help other people, to create businesses, to create businesses to help other people. It is our kindness that brings us together. It is our compassion as a whole that brings us together as a race. It is our value, our inherent value that brings us together. When you start to see the value in other human beings, the whole world changes. You start to come together as one and start to build things that before you would think was impossible, like cars, like spaceships, like AI generated images and all this. This is the power of coming together as one. This is the power of compassion. This is the power of love. The human race can only come together and function well when we care about each other. When we don't see each other as worthless garbage. The moment we start seeing each other as worthless garbage, that's when we start behaving like mindless animals. We start killing our own parents. We start killing our own children. We start killing our parents, our friends and family members, our brothers and sisters. When you start to see yourself as a worthless human being, that's where you commit suicide. The moment you believe you're a worthless human being is when you desire to commit suicide. Before then, you always see, the moment you see yourself as a worthless human being, you commit suicide. As long as you have the slightest feeling that you have value within yourself, you will never kill yourself in this world. So the reason why so many people keep committing suicide is because there's an inherent, belief in this world that human beings are worthless. And if you keep believing that you're worthless, guess what? You'll behave like a mindless animal, a violent, cruel, and despicable human being. And if you behave like a violent and cruel, despicable human being, guess what will happen to you? You'll be marked as a beast, as a violent and cruel beast. If you get marked as a violent and cruel beast, what will happen to you? When you die, you go to hell. You go to the world of beasts, just like you. You go to the world where your parents can kill you. They'll gut you down right there and then, without the slightest remorse, without the slightest feeling of empathy, ignoring every single tear that you cry, all the pain that you feel, the torture, the agony. They will ignore every single feeling that comes out of your body, that they see in your body, and they'll butcher you alive. That is the world of the beast. If you want to live in the world of the beast that the scientists tell you, go ahead, live in the world of evil. But mark my words, if you live in that world, if you believe that you have no value in this world and nobody has value, when you die, you go to a world where nobody has value, where everybody around you is worthless because they all believe they're worthless. While the people that has value, the people that believe they have value, will still be building cars, will still be bringing the human race to a greater world that they've never imagined before. The people who believe the human race has value are the ones who continue on, even when everything looks bleak. The people who believe in themselves, who believe they have inherent value, are the ones, pioneering the future of the human race. They want to make sure the human race succeeds because they believe the human race has a reason to be in this world. The human race is now worthless. The human race is now valueless. The human race is now garbage. So if you keep believing the human race is garbage, you'll be marked as a beast, as an evil creature whose only mindset is to destroy and eliminate. If that's your mindset, it's to destroy the world and then kill yourself, guess what? You'll be marked as a beast. You'll never experience the good things in life, and you will suffer in agony and torment before you die and then after you die. But that's it for today's podcast episode. I'll talk to you guys later.